guys, Mr. Piece of Biscuit here, and I've tried making this video 3 times, but I keep ranting too long, so I'm going to try and be quick. This deck's for a casual format me and my friends play. I guess the closest thing, the closest normal format to is Vintage. I guess this deck would be using Vintage, I believe, but I haven't played Magic in so long, but I'm not sure if this deck is even legal anymore. It's the kind of thing I have to look up if I actually decide to play it with anyone I don't really know that well, who does care about what I'm playing. So Vintage deck, it's for a casual format me and my friends play, which is bring any cards you want as long as you have a theme to your deck, and I'm pretty sure this deck is absolutely awful, but you know, it should be fun. It's got it's based on a deck I've been wanting to build for a long time, but when I gave up playing Magic about, I don't know, a year ago, I sort of completely forgot about this idea, and then I found the deck builder online and I decided I'd try to build it. So it's based upon the Dragons vs Knight deck that I unboxed quite a while ago. I took sort of the idea of dragons and tried to make it, well, fun. So here we go. The basic lands, we've got I believe 18 basic lands, all mountains. Is a mono red deck. I've been considering getting rid of 4 of the mountains and replacing them with terramorphic expanses. I'm unsure whether I want to do this yet. I think through playtesting I'll be able to decide, so I'll just put these here because they're not very interesting. The next thing that I've got is there's 20 creatures in this deck. Its mana curve's awful. This deck has the worst mana curve of any deck ever built, I think. But hopefully some of the creatures kind of help with that. You'll see what I mean. So to start, we have a Cinderwall. This is sort of like one of the only cheap spells or cheap creatures I have in the deck. It's kind of just there because if I get it late game it isn't awful, but if I get it early game it's decent. Dragon Hatchling, it's kind of just there because it's a low cost dragon creature and it suits the theme. Same with this creature, it's not really a dragon but it's kind of pushing it. It stays with sort of having a few low mana costs, and this is where it starts to ramp up really quick. So I've got 3 Priests of Urabrask, I don't know, but the only reason I have this card in the deck is this. When it enters the battlefield you get to add 3 mountains to your mana pool, and that is going to be incredibly useful, as you will see. So I tried to get 1 of each type of like sort of Hellkite and stuff in this deck, just to try and give it a wide range of creatures. I don't really have any repeats, I don't think, of the main sort of cool creatures. So we start with a Shivan Hellkite, a Dragon Speaker Shaman. I wanted multiple of these, but they were out of stock on Channel Fireball when I was ordering them, so I'll have to come back and get some of those. But this card, reducing the cost of dragons you cast, is just amazing, and it really helps with the mana problem this deck will probably end up having. Mordant Dragon, I kind of just have it because it was in the original Dragon deck and I liked the artwork, and that's the main reason for most of the cards in this deck, is I like the artwork, and I think it'll end up being powerful if it can survive to late game. So Thunder Dragon, very straightforward. It's sort of like it's just got one of those effects where it's going to slowly grind down your enemy. You got lots of creatures in this deck that are just going to deal damage continually to enemy or target creatures, and this is continued in the instance and such later. Ancient Hellkite, this card was one of the main reasons I was really interested in M11. The artwork for it's absolutely brilliant, and it's got a cool ability. It certainly isn't the best, but it's cool. Flameblast Dragon, the effect on this card to me isn't amazing, but it does a job, and by having so many different types of dragons, having a card like this that can do a job makes the deck very diverse, being able to deal with different situations. At least that's what I hope. Archering Dragon, again, it suits some situations, but it's only 4 costs for 4/4. It's got haste flying, but it's returned to your hand after you cast it. So this is a very good late game card for when I've got all my mana built up, and you'll see that mana can be built up rather quickly with this deck. So I've got I've got a Volcanic Dragon. This card is an awesome foil and it's really cheap. I think I paid 25 cents for this and it just looks awesome. So flying, haste, 4/4/6. It's a bit expensive, but it's once you get this late game you can't really complain. A dragon with haste, and once you've got enough mana, it's the kind of thing you're just going to play no matter what, because you build up enough mana and do whatever the hell you want, to be honest. Now we get into some of the exciting cards. The rest of these cards here I actually believe are all mythic rares. So this is one of the decks, it's probably the most mythic rare heavy deck yet, one of the cheapest decks I've ever built. So we're going to Hellkite. This is the card that comes with the Dragons vs Knight deck. It's pretty cool. It's 5/5 flying flash for 8 mana, and when it enters battlefield you divide 5 damage among target creatures or players, so again doing that grind down effect. Right, I have no idea how to pronounce this one either. Utavara Hellkite, I think. Flying and putting down dragon tokens. I love creatures that create tokens. I've been trying to create a token deck for quite some time, but I haven't really thought of an idea that I really like yet, so this card is really awesome for that. Right, Scourge of Valkus, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's a 5 mana M14. I believe in any other deck this card would be awful, but quite frankly in this deck you get this late game, it can win you the game no problem, but getting it early game it seems awfully useless, so it's very situational, but it's pretty cool. Balefire Dragon, this card's pretty awesome because it deals the amount of it deals combat damage to the number of creatures you control, and if you're spamming your dragon creatures late game, again this card can win you that game without a problem. So there's lots of sorts of, I'm going to deal damage to you and I'm going to do it right now, I'm going to do it even more when I'm spamming more of these powerful creatures. So this is mainly the reason I built this deck. Thundermaw Hellkite is one of the only super expensive cards in this deck, mainly because Brian Kibble's my favourite Magic player of all time. He was using this to great success, and I've always loved the artwork, and I really had no reason to buy one before. So now that I have this dragon deck, I felt like it was worth having. If you don't know what this card does, well really I'm not the best person to explain it. Pretty much it's just awesome. Flying haste 5/5 for 5, and it's pretty much declare tokens. It's very good at clearing those flying spirit tokens, which is something I have a problem with in my local meta. Lots of people we've got lots of blue-white players who like to spam tokens, so they should deal with them. So the monsters, obviously you see the mana curve isn't great, but it's fun. It should be fun, it should be tons of fun. I will bring you, it's not a battle report, is it, in Magic? I guess just I'll bring you some dual footage, hopefully. So we move on to the 15 sort of instant sorcery things. Starting with Punishing Fire, you're going to notice a theme here, which is most of the cards just deal damage to creatures and players. I think the goal is to deal as much, to destroy as many of their creatures as you can and then just come in with your dragons. But since your dragons all have flying pretty much and are unblockable, therefore you don't really need to deal the damage to the creatures so much as if you can deal the damage to the player, you're going to be able to win this game either really quickly if you get enough mana to cast tons of instants, or really in the late game you'll be able to destroy them over 1 or 2 turns. So Flames of the Fireband is the next card, it's the same theme. Breath of, I don't know, Daragaz. It's an okay card. I kind of have it just because I see that it has a place here. It kind of suits a theme. Spitting Earth, once you have the spam that you'll see from some of the cards later on, you'll see why this card becomes incredibly powerful. Playset of Lightning Bolts. I don't know if Lightning Bolts are still legal, to be honest, but it'd be stupid for me to play a deck where you can bring any cards from any period and not bring a playset of Lightning Bolts in a mono red deck. It would be insane. So these are two of the sorceries that kind of deal with if you don't have enough mana early game. Having these cards be able to generate goblin creatures so you can kind of stall out till late game is going to be really helpful. Cone of Flame, just damage to multiple creatures, so it's decent. It's very expensive. It's like one of the only expensive sorceries I have in the deck, and I felt like I might as well have some expensive sorceries, even though there are things that do it better, mainly just because I had glamour. And the last thing is a playset of Seething Song. This is the best artwork, I think, in my opinion. You get to add 5 mana to your mana pool for 3 mana, and that's just amazing. So, see what I mean? By the time you have all these cast, your deck's just going to be unstoppable with Spitting Earth. If you manage to cast 2 of these off, you're going to have 10 mana dealing 10 damage to your opponent. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, that's about it. So, apart from that, I guess I'll just show you these because these are cool little things. Channel Fireball tokens. I intend to use as Goblin tokens since they only give you 2 of the deck. But yeah, these are really cool things. Louis Scott Vargas, going to be a 6/6 dragon. Should be pretty cool. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is my dragon deck. It's probably not very competitive, but it should be fun to play. I imagine you can probably make this deck into a standard deck with the amount of dragons that are around in the latest core set. or maybe at least make a deck that mainly uses dragons. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any feedback or would like to see more Magic videos, comment below, and thanks for listening to me rant a bit about this deck. See you next time.